Martell Holt has always believed he could find a way to stay at the center of attention. Over the years, he has used his charm, his confidence, and his ability to stir up controversy to keep himself in the spotlight. But this time, the move he tried to pull off didn't just fail, it backfired. OWN executives recently shut down one of Martell's boldest and riskiest ideas yet. And the fallout from their decision says more about the state of love and marriage Huntsville than many fans realize. Martell thought he was about to do something groundbreaking. He believed he had found a way to shock people, shake up the storylines, and breathe new life into a show that has clearly been struggling to keep the same energy it had in its earlier seasons. But instead of applause, the response was rejection. OWN stepped in, put their foot down, and said, "No, absolutely not." So, what was this daring plan? It all centered around one woman, Arionne Curry. Arionne Curry has been tied to Martell for years. She is the woman who played a huge role in the end of his marriage to Melody Sheree, and ever since the affair came to light, she has been a topic of endless debates online, in interviews, and even within the show's storylines. Martell believed he could turn all that buzz into ratings. His idea was to bring Arionne into the main cast. He wanted to make her a central character, giving her a storyline and a platform equal to the rest of the stars. In Martell's mind, this was a genius move. He probably thought it would shock fans, create tension, and drive drama, the bread and butter of reality television. But the executives at OWN weren't impressed. They didn't see innovation. They saw disaster. And before things could get that far, they stopped it. At first glance, Martell's proposal might sound like classic reality TV, adding fuel to an already messy fire. But when you look closer, it's obvious why OWN executives rejected it immediately. The show is already chaotic. Huntsville has been drowning in toxic storylines, endless fights, and the same recycled conflicts season after season. Adding Arionne to the mix wouldn't have saved the show. It would have destroyed it completely. Fans have been vocal for years about what they want from Love and Marriage Huntsville. When the show first started, it wasn't just about arguments and betrayal. Yes, there was drama, but it was balanced by inspiring stories about business, growth, marriage, and family. Maurice and Kimmy Scott worked hard to balance careers, health battles, and marriage. Marsaw and Letitia Scott built their empire while dealing with the ups and downs of being husband and wife. Melody and Martell began as a power couple, showing both the beauty and the cracks of building a future together. It wasn't perfect, but it was real. It felt authentic, and that authenticity is what drew fans in. But somewhere along the way, things shifted. Instead of inspiring stories and natural conflict, the show started relying too heavily on the same tired themes: betrayal, cheating, and endless arguments. Instead of growth, there was only destruction. Instead of hope, there was only bitterness. And Martell has been at the center of that decline. Fans haven't forgotten Martell's choices. They remember his affair. They remember his refusal to take accountability. They remember the interviews where he seemed more concerned with controlling the narrative than admitting his mistakes. Over time, Martell became less of a complex character and more of a symbol of chaos. Whenever he appeared on screen, the conversation circled back to Arionne, and after years of this, fans grew tired. One comment on social media summed it up perfectly. Why is Martell even here if Arionne is the only storyline he has? That question hit hard because it was true. Martell hasn't shown growth. His businesses haven't flourished. His attempts at co-parenting haven't always been consistent. He hasn't presented himself as a man who has learned from his mistakes. Instead, he has leaned on the same old drama with Arionne. So when he tried to use her again as his ticket back to relevance, fans weren't impressed. They were frustrated. And OWN executives knew this. OWN's rejection of Martell's plan wasn't just about keeping Arionne out of the cast. It was about protecting the entire future of the show. If they had allowed Martell's idea to move forward, there's a strong chance Love and Marriage Huntsville would have collapsed. Fans have already said loud and clear that bringing Arionne into the main cast would have been the final straw. Many even promised they would stop watching altogether. The network couldn't afford to take that risk. And in a way, by stopping Martell, OWN may have saved the show. They reminded everyone that Love and Marriage Huntsville was supposed to be about more than just messy drama. It was meant to inspire, to show Black excellence, entrepreneurship, family dynamics, and real struggles alongside real triumphs. That's what fans connected with in the beginning, and that's what OW is trying to get back to now. But let's be honest, the issues go deeper than Martell and Arionne. The whole direction of the show has shifted. Instead of highlighting couples like the Fletchers, the Whitlows, or giving space to Maurice and Kimmy, production has been pushing new faces like Kiki and Stormy, often in ways that feel forced. These newer storylines might create temporary buzz, but fans see right through them. They know when something feels authentic and when it feels like filler. The constant pettiness, the recycled arguments, and the lack of genuine growth have left viewers drained. Social media proves this every week. Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook are full of fans complaining about how repetitive the show has become. People don't want to see Martell pretending to be a victim while staying tied to Arionne. They don't want fake storylines packaged as new drama. They want real-life struggles and real progress. And that's why OW OWN's decision mattered so much. While Martell's plans are falling apart, Melody Sheree has been thriving. After her marriage collapsed, Melody chose to turn her pain into purpose. She has been raising her children, building businesses, making music, and inspiring other women through her resilience. Fans admire her because she has shown growth, strength, and independence. There are even whispers that Melody might be getting her own spin-off show. If that happens, it could be a game changer, not just for her, but for the entire brand. A solo show featuring Melody would give viewers what they've been asking for: a story about moving forward, about building something new, about proving that growth is possible even after heartbreak. The contrast between Melody's journey and Martell's stagnation couldn't be clearer. She represents progress, he represents repetition, and fans have already chosen which story they want to follow. It's not just Melody keeping the show afloat. Maurice and Kimmy Scott have continued to deliver authentic, emotional storylines. Kimmy's health journey touched fans deeply because it was real. Their marriage struggles and family dynamics have resonated with viewers in ways that no fake drama ever could. Marcel and Letitia Scott are still building, still working, and still showing both the highs and lows of entrepreneurship and family life. Stormy's expanding business adds another layer of authenticity. Destiny's rebuilding journey gives fans a sense of perseverance. Compared to all of them, Martell's reliance on Arionne looks weak. Everyone else has something real to bring to the table. Martell only had Arionne, and OW just told him it wasn't enough. That's the big question. Where does Martell go from here? Without Arionne, he has no clear storyline. Without Melody, he has no partnership to lean on. Without growth, he has no inspiration to offer fans. If Martell wants to survive on the show, he has to reinvent himself. He has to take accountability, show maturity, and prove that he's capable of moving forward. But based on his past patterns, it's not clear if he can do that. If he keeps relying on the same drama, fans will eventually stop paying attention. And OWN executives seem ready to let him fade into the background if that's the path he chooses. At the end of the day, this isn't just about Martell and Arionne, it's about Love and Marriage Huntsville as a whole. If the show keeps recycling old drama, it risks losing everything: its credibility, its audience, and even its place on the air. Rumors of cancellation aren't out of the question if things don't turn around. But if the show returns to its roots, authentic struggles, business building, family dynamics, and real growth, it might just survive. Fans still want to be inspired. They still want to root for these couples. They still want to see the triumphs alongside the trials. OWN's rejection of Martell's plan was a step in the right direction. It sent a message: recycled chaos is not enough. Authenticity is what matters. And now it's up to the cast, especially Martell, to prove they can deliver it. At the end of the day, Martell's latest move shows just how far things have shifted on Love and Marriage Huntsville. What he thought would be his big comeback was quickly shut down, and for good reason. The audience is tired of recycled storylines, and OW made it clear that bringing Arionne into the spotlight would have been the final straw. This decision wasn't only about stopping Martell, it was about protecting the show and giving it a chance to return to what made people fall in love with it in the first place. Now the spotlight is shifting. Melody is moving forward, other couples are showing real growth, and the audience is watching closely to see what happens next. Martell has a choice. He can finally take responsibility and show real progress, or he can keep repeating the same cycle until fans stop paying attention. So, what do you think? Was OWN right to block Martell's plan? Can he turn things around, or is his time in Huntsville running out? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more updates on this story.